Hello and welcome. I am Alan, and today we are going to talk about a little more about Magic the Gathering. Specifically about the cards and um, how to play in kind of a tutorial. I did this at one point last year, kind of talking about the cards, but it was kind of roughshod. So this time I'll try to be a little more organized. So, let's do this. Let me get some cards out for y'all to look at here. We'll do that instead of that one. That could be an example of that. Okay. All right. Now, what you have, I'm just using this particular set because this is all I have on hand at the moment. Once I get my the rest of my collection, which I have at a prior residence that we are moving all the stuff from, so which from there it'll be cards upon cards upon cards because I have binders and binders and binders full of old sets. But like I said, with that said, let's take a look at the cards. You have five primary colors that your cards can be. Red, you see how the border is kind of red. You have white. You have green. You have black. And you have blue. So, those are the basic colors. Now, you can also have artifact cards, which are colorless. As well as multicolor cards, which tend to be gold. So, there we have that. Let me show you an example of what some cards produce sometimes called a token. And there can be different types of tokens. In this case, it is a dinosaur. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other any other. Okay. Now, besides those, sometimes you can get foil cards, which, if you see how it shines, so there's a few of them that are foil. Now, let's show you some of the basics. There's one. There's a non-color land. There's a multicolor land. Okay. We are going to talk lands. Now, this is one of the 5 basic lands, an island. You see the symbol, the little water droplet. That is the symbol of blue. This land, an island, is a blue land card. Now, as we showed each color, let's pull that same card up here. You'll notice at the top, across from a name, it has 2 water droplets, which represents the fact that you need 2 of these islands in play to bring it out. Now, you also have, like I said, blacks, which is the 2 skulls. Green, which is symbolized by the forest, which is supposed to be a tree. So blues is an island, black's a swamp, green's a tree, white, it kind of looks like a sun. That's to symbolize White's land, the plains. And red, it has the fireball, which is to symbolize its land, the mountain. So, island, swamp, forest, plains, and mountains. So you have each of those lands representing each color. Now, it isn't as true as it used to be, but back in the day when I was first playing, way back in the day, there was a allied enemy color chart, and you had white and, let's see, I think it was green, red, black, and blue. Yeah, that's how it went. White, uh, white, green, red, black, blue. And essentially what it means is on the side of white, what it's allied with is blue and green. Green, what it's allied with is white and red. Red is allied with green and black. Black is allied with red and blue is allied with black and white. Does it make sense so far? It isn't as common as it used to be, but that's how it used to go. Like, for example, the one multicolor card here I got. As you see, it's black and red by the skull and the fireball, indicating you need a mountain and a swamp to cast it. In other words, you must have one of each of those lands in play and open to play that card. Now, let's see what else. Like I said, I showed you the blue is the regular. That's the only one of the regular lands I got. But here's an example of a non-colored land. The Shimmering Grotto. Instead of playing like a regular color land, you could play this one. And when it is your turn, you can tap it to add, I believe that's just any land. So yeah, you can tap it to add any color land to your... No, that's colorless. That's what that is. So yeah, that's the symbol they brought out for colorless. So you could tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, which means it's a non-color land. Like for example, on this card you need a mountain and then it says 1, the 1 being a land of any color or non-color. It just means any one other land. So it could be red, black, blue, white, green, non-color, as long as it's another land, a red and another land of some kind. So yes, you tap it and it adds a non-colorless land to your mana pool. Like tapping the island would add a blue, or tapping a swamp would add a black, so on and so on. And underneath, you could tap a mana of any color or non-color, as well as tapping this land to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So, for a little more of an expense, you could bring out any color. Now let's talk about the other color land. That was a non-color land. This is a multicolor land. In this particular case, red and green. Now, at the bottom you see you can use it to add a red and a green to your mana pool if you tap this for mana. And essentially, all tapping means is, okay, you've turned your card, that means you've accessed its ability for that turn. It's something that happens during an attack, during the use of mana for your land to bring out creatures, spells, etc. Some spells require you to tap them. And that is the use of mana. And again, just it's your lands, mana. And so yeah. Let's take an example and kind of follow up here. This is 3 colorless or 3 of any color or any combination. This is 2 blue. This is 2 black or 2 swamp with 2 of any other color or combination or non-color. So 2 swamp, sand, to whatever, however you want to pay it. Green, 1 forest, and 3 of any combination of colored or non-colored land. This one, 1 plains, 1 white, and 1 of any other combination. And this one's pretty simple. 1 mountain, 1 red. Let's see. Now, I showed you the tokens earlier. You do not have to pay mana for them unless the card that produces them says you have to. But they don't have a casting cost because they're usually produced by spells or by creatures who produce the little tokens. But yeah, there you go. That's the use of mana and how you would use it to cast your spells. And like I said, one more time, white is plains, green is trees, which is to represent the forest. The white is the little sun to represent plains. So the sun is white, which represents the plains. Green is the tree, which represents forests. Red is the fireball, which represents mountains. Black is the skull, which represents swamps. And blue is the water droplet, which represents islands. So that is your basic knowledge on islands. I guess the only thing I didn't cover is an old use of islands that hasn't been used in a while called snow-covered, which is just the same thing, but snow-covered that particular land. So you can have snow-covered plains, snow-covered forests, snow-covered mountains, snow-covered swamps, and snow-covered islands. But again, that particular type hasn't been used in a while because it was only for the Ice Age and I think another set that used snow-covered lands. But that's the only thing I think you really have to look out for when it comes to lands. You've got your basics, your non-colors, which there can be several types, and your multicolors. And that will cover all your lands. In the next video, we'll kind of get into in the next Magic the Gathering video, we'll kind of get into talking about some of the spells and that you can cast, whether it be like enchantments or instants or creatures, and that's going to be a slightly bigger video because there's so many and the differences that have changed over the years. And like I said, I've been playing for years. I think I started right before Ice Age. Ice Age and 4th edition was kind of my introduction, so I've been playing for years and years and years to let you know, again, to show my age. So But for now, that's all we're going to talk about on the subject. I will see you again in the next video. But until then, see you guys later.